Hey everyone, Nate here with Simply Sharp, and welcome back to episode 2 of Crawl, Walk, Run, where I try to share my experience, my journey, starting a small business with the hope that I can maybe be helpful, be encouraging, give somebody just kind of the ongoing motivation and boost to either start this or continue their journey. So in the first episode, I talked a bit about, how I got started, some of the influences. I kind of had some rules about getting started from my perspective, and then just kind of what I did at a really base level. But in this episode, I kind of want to talk about how I got to the point where I started my own business, and what I think are distractions and pitfalls that, for me anyways, delayed the journey and probably caused a lot of unneeded stress and anxiety. So just a little bit of background. I've been in software prior to this most of my career, and I've had the luxury to work for a lot of great companies and under great people that I still admire and consider mentors and, just love. It's been fantastic. I've had a few stinkers in there, if I'm honest. But one of the things that really kind of started to crop up a few years ago was I was just never really, I started getting easily not into it and frustrated easily. And it led to me just kind of bouncing around to different jobs, including a couple that, were some of the stinkers. But in reflection, so some of the symptoms I felt, so just in case any of you out there are in the same boat, and I imagine a lot of people that start their own businesses or want to start their own business are in this boat. Symptoms I felt, I was not excited to get up and go to work, right? Just laid in bed, hit snooze. Didn't want to do it. My wife and I would joke and be like, I don't want to, right? And it's just, didn't want to do it. I probably just was not as into the day-to-day job as I needed to be, if I'm honest. Honestly, I loathed Zoom meetings. Like, I would just dread getting on the next meeting. Both because it's just not me. I'm not a big meeting person anyways. I'm very sociable. I like interacting with people and doing things, but meetings have always been a source of pain for me because they are so inefficient. You don't get anywhere near as much done as you wanted to. And it just creates a lot of to-dos that, again, never get done. There's this big backlog of not success. It's so emotionally draining. And then you just add in the virtual aspect, and everyone can call a meeting and assume it's free because you're not all sitting together in a room somewhere and nobody's paying attention and nobody gets to really interact with each other. And if you're a sociable person like me, horrible, right? So that was a big part of it. Quite frankly, the other was no matter how much I liked and respected the people I worked for, I just got tired of working for someone. And I don't know why, but I would get these anxieties about, having to interact with them and do things with them just because there's this underlying where I was just over it. I don't know if it was I didn't like having a boss or whatever, even though they were great. Couldn't feel it, right? So honestly, I probably drank more than I should have, just because, I'd get stressed out and annoyed and frustrated or whatever. So anyways, these are some of the symptoms that I had. I don't know, maybe you guys have some of the same ones or maybe not. Maybe I'm just a bad employee. But anyways, so had this journey, had these great people, and then I started thinking about the problem is I gotta get out. And so I started thinking a lot about how I could branch out on my own. Hey Nate, you're so brilliant, you have the ways you're gonna do it, why don't you try it? So that kind of stuff, right? And it took a while to get to where I was and figure out an idea that I could start with. And I talk about how I got to crawl, walk, run in that first episode, but the idea is like start really small. I'm not betting the farm. I'm not quitting my job. I'm not investing, my retirement into this thing. I'm going to do something that if it fails, my wife is not going to leave me. I'm not out on the street, right? And if it's successful, I'll move on to the next step and the next step, and then hopefully eventually I'll be running and have a massively successful enterprise. So that's a little bit of the background of how I got there. And there are like a handful of pitfalls that I think slowed me down. I would say I probably started this journey 5 years ago, and I really opened this business, Simply Sharp, in July 5th of 2022. Did it part-time until November, and I finally got to a point and I had some ability to do some part-time work on another side gig that would help make it financially feasible for me to quit my main job and focus on doing this, right? So that's how it happened. The first thing that hung me up was start with why, or start with the why. And God, 10 years ago, whatever, there's an author, Simon Sinek. He wrote this book, Start with the Why. He did a great TED Talk, and he did a great presentation. Brilliant author, brilliant presenter. It's a great book. It makes it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. And I went down this path of like, well, what's my why? Like, what am I going to do? And let my why guide it. And that just didn't show up. And one of the things I've realized, kind of having been liberated from that quagmire, is this is kind of a BS statement that, you should start with the why. And it's not that it is in and of itself on its face just a BS statement, but the reality of what's going on is these organizations are using their why as just another branding and marketing exercise. That's it, right? They're not actually committed to this. It's not in almost any sense what the employees of these companies really believe that they're doing. It's just kind of like the company line. It's how they recruit people, and it's how they look good in the public. It's like you're this monster mega company that hoovers up billions of dollars, and you gotta look good, like you have some great big bold mission in the universe. And it's just crap. It's just another branding marketing exercise is what I realized. And as soon as I let that go, it was like, just forget about that. It opened up everything else. And what it led me to is, here is what I think really matters when you want to start a business. And I think just being successful in general. Number one, provide a great experience. And the important part of this is the very first and primary audience you need to provide a great experience for is yourself. And the reason I say that is, number one, everyone else that does business with you, whether that's your customers or your employees or your partners or whatever, they will feel that. If you're not having a great experience, you're not providing a great experience for yourself, they're gonna wind up feeling that, right? And you guys see this all the time in your interactions. You get somebody over and, they're just not happy and having, really into their job or whatever. They're just kind of going through the paces and mailing it in or whatever. You talk to people on the phone at a company and you can tell that person's just beat up and whatever. And, it's like, they're just not having a good experience. And so you as a customer get to feel that, right? The same thing is going to happen in your business. And when it's just you and you're getting started, you really need to make sure that you're providing a great experience for yourself so that your customers will feel that. Your customers are the number two audience that should be getting this great experience, that you should be providing a great experience for. Because you can have an okay product, but if you provide a great experience, those customers are going to rave about you. They're going to be your raving fans. They're going to talk about you. They're going to refer you and do whatever. I think I'm a pretty good knife sharpener. I know there are much better knife sharpeners out there. Like, they've been doing it way longer. They've sharpened more knives. They have more toys. They have more skill. They're just better. I think I do a good job of sharpening knives, but I think I provide a great experience. And I think that can be backed up by just all of the very kind, nice things, like how nice people are to me in referring me and putting me on social media and talking to their friends about me. So provide a great experience. If you have employees, I would say that's the second audience that you need to provide that great experience for, because if you think about it, your customers are interacting with your employees. So the same way I said, if you're not having a great experience for yourself, your customers are gonna feel that. Well, if your employees aren't having a great experience, the customers of yours that they're serving are gonna feel that. So you're number one. If you have employees, they're number two. Number three is your customers. So it's just a chain that you would just wanna make sure you're providing those great experiences. Actually, that's probably a whole nother episode I could do. It's like, hey, how do I provide a great experience for myself? So I wake up every day super energized, excited, and I get to meet these customers and have a great time with them. All right, number two, be good at what you do. Like, going back to like the start with the why and all this kind of stuff. I am so over marketing and branding. Like the idea of just branding is really off-putting to me now. And it's because I think companies get to hide behind that because they have subpar products. They just, some factory in China or something like that has like an okay product. Probably not very good, probably not very good quality, but they market and brand the crap out of it, and then there you go. You've got your TV or your mouse or blender or whatever. And it's probably just okay. I think there's some companies that are really great about it. Apple obviously does a lot of branding and a lot of marketing, but holy cow, are their products great. So I can't really beat them up too much, but man, like, just be good. Like, and this is like another hang up, because I was sitting there and I was like, I don't know anything about marketing. I'm not a marketing person. I'm not a branding person. It's like something that annoys me. I don't want to do it. I'm doing this. I'm making YouTube videos to try to like generate interest and traffic and stuff like that, and trying to be helpful, but right, like, I don't know how to do that kind of stuff, and I don't want to do that kind of stuff. So that held me up for a while too. Not as much as that whole start with the why BS, but not knowing how to do it, and like, well, am I picking the right colors, and like, how do I even get a logo, and at some point I just said, screw it, I'm just gonna do stuff and we're gonna see what happens. So talk a little bit about it in episode 1 about just being courageous and just go do it. Just do that, but be good. Make a good product, make something you're happy with. In my world of knife sharpening, there's kind of like a little joke in the knife sharpening community that you could spend like 10 minutes sharpening a knife and you're still gonna be like, nope, that's not good enough, and you're gonna keep making it good. It's just, I don't know, it's the way it is. And I think that's really, really supremely important, because if you provide a great experience and you have a great product, you're gonna have a lot of great customers and do a lot of great things for you. And then, the third one is just kind of all wrapped up, and just don't let yourself be drawn down by all these things that aren't going to be important, right? Having the best logo, not important. Having a great tagline, not important. Having the most beautiful website, not important. Having this huge, crazy, awesome, business plan, not important, right? It sounds crazy to say, not important. What's going to be important is provide a great experience, be good at what you're doing. That's what's ultimately going to build this, because again, we're on this crawl, walk, run journey, right? So my crawling was most evenings from like 5:30, actually probably like 6, because it was in the summer when I started. It's like 6 to like 8. I would go out and I'd do sharpenings, or I would pick up people's knives, sharpen them to like midnight, and then drop them off the next morning. And then, Saturdays and Sundays, going out there, sharpening knives, like building relationships, doing stuff, right? And that was my my crawling. And I'm probably about ready to, if I'm honest, I'm about ready to stand up on my 2 legs and take my first steps into walking. I'm a advanced crawler, I guess, but you know, I did that. I worked every single day from July 5th up until the Saturday before Thanksgiving, when we went to Florida to go visit the family. Every single day. And I was able to, in November, quit my full-time job, really focus on this. And to be honest, I have a side gig where I do some consulting work for a previous software company, and it's great. It gives me enough extra income so that the wife's happy, the family's happy, and you just don't have this as much stress as it probably could be. You know, and I'll be taking some next steps here that I'll be talking about and sharing with everyone. But keep that in mind. You are not on this journey, or I'm not on this journey where I have to get all of that stuff nailed down and right. The most important thing I can do is when I leave a customer, they had a great experience and I delivered them a great service, or if you're making a product, a great product. So there we go. Be authentic, be real, focus on good things, focus on providing great experiences. Never mind the rest of that stuff. Thank you.